I've sold a policy in the car and ran up to watch, the first at bat of a baseball game on the way to Nashville to support you and your podcast. I've sold health insurance policies, and to find that type of commission that people need that I can sell on my time and provide an income. I mean, that's freedom. And that's a huge opportunity. Work from home was the number one goal of mine when I knew being a mom was on coming up, being able to work from home. And this absolutely does it.
Welcome back to Podcast on Wheels. I'm Brian.
And I'm Courtney.
And guys, if you're self-employed, if you own a business and you're paying for your own health insurance, this episode, it's for you. Your premiums are going up in 2026 and you're not being told the whole truth. So we're going to dive into it. We're going to give you a little information. Courtney's going to give you the most up-to-date available information right now. And we're recording this the night before it's released so that you guys are getting it as fresh as can be. So ACA premiums, they're rising 18 to 26% in many areas. Courtney, what are you hearing about those rate increases?
Well, for a lot of people, it's going up, about $100, right? So we won't worry about percentages, but $100 per person. And it's kind of coming out of nowhere. I think most people are used to a little bit of increase, but usually within a tank of gas. But this is, light bills increasing. So it's significant. So really, more people are asking better questions now because I feel like they know that they're kind of the wool's being pulled over their eyes a bit. And so I'm having more informed conversations this time of year. And this is what our fourth year doing it. So it's word is getting out that there's other options. So that's a good part about what's going on right now.
All right. So the next two things, I'm going to kind of combine these. Deductibles are increasing and the enhanced subsidies may drop or expire. That's higher cost for many, right? So deductibles and then the enhanced subsidies dropping, expiring, therefore the ACA premiums rise. Explain that to us.
Well, last I heard, the subsidies did get extended for the next 2 years. The subsidies are still in place, but the price of the plans have increased. And even if the subsidies get you close to what you were paying before, what you're not really going to see is that the deductibles and the max out of pockets all increased. So with the subsidies back in place, those monthly premiums might be more consumer friendly or back to what you're normally used to doing, but they have no idea on the back end that, it's more cost for them out of pocket to use those plans. So that's where we step in. We can help educate on, hey, this is what is happening behind the scenes because, we have to be a part of that.
Right. Are some people doing auto renewals? I know I've heard that. I've talked to some people. If they do auto renewal quietly and don't even notice the increase in monthly payments till the first of next year. And what are the open enrollment limits for what you offer? So if somebody gets into a plan, they like it, they don't, what are your limits?
Okay, so there's two markets you got to look at it. So the government marketplace, health insurance, that has an open enrollment time of year you can only enroll if you have a special event, a life event, like you get married, have a baby, things like that, through the rest of the year. Okay, so what is it? November 1st through January 15th right now is considered open enrollment. This is when all the commercials are hitting and all that. Now, in the private insurance world, you can change anytime you would like. There's very small restrictions on a few plans, but for the most part, we can have coverage set up for you within 5 days, beginning of the month, end of the month, random date. You need it tomorrow. There's some companies who can get it done within 24 hours. And you're not truly locked in on 12-month plans, right? A lot of it's month to month. We are there too to help you as we're brokers. So if you get in a plan that you absolutely hate, we can switch you in the middle of June. Okay. Now, when people get into these auto renewal situations and they're auto renewed in January and they get that first hit or they learn, oh my goodness, my deductible's gone up. They look at their stuff for the first time because some people enrolled to be auto renewed for 5 years. So some people, this may be so far off of their mind, they put it off that they're not even paying attention. So if they get a surprise in January, most insurance companies usually give like a look period. So they do have a small window with whatever they're getting in January. They can look and say, "Ooh, I don't want this," and we can refund you for the whole month. We can get that set up in place, but you got to start looking now, guys. And then we can put you into a new plan, very quickly. Or if you want to just get through January, great. we can move you in February 1st, right? So we have flexibility to get people moved into those new plans by February 1st if they don't like what happened on January 1st. So that's really the dates that we're looking at to help people the most.
Gotcha. And those deadlines are just like she said for the government. So as we get into some more things that are up to date and right now, what's going on? If we're talking to a lot of the meetings and networking and the people that I'm on the phone with are entrepreneurs, small business owners, self-employed or 1099. So an entrepreneur, small business owner, self-employed, what are those people talking to you about right now?
A lot of people are asking about getting their employees covered. This is, the best way I feel like to compete in a marketplace is to have great benefits, and we can put together great benefits. Now, the younger and the healthier your employees are, the cheaper the rates are. So a lot of companies that hire younger guys, crews, things like that, we can set them up with pretty sweet deals. Very, very affordable, zero deductible plans, zero copays for these guys. They can kind of just show it to the doctor. And the best part is they have concierge service to me. So if they have a question about is this doctor in network, they can just shoot a text message, shoot an email, and we make sure that they're using the plan the right way.
Got it. Got it. So you also talked to some families that are paying out of pocket. You've talked to people with high deductibles. You've talked to people who just need clarity right now. What are some common questions there with people who are paying out of pocket, stuck with a high deductible? They need clarity to understand.
I think most people are stuck in a one size fits all health insurance plan, and they are throwing, it doesn't fit their needs. And both people that I talked to today, they said, wow, I can actually customize my coverage. Like there's custom, like, yeah, we can customize this. And if I tell you it's a waste of money, it's a waste of money. You don't need it, certain things, but it's a very customized plan. It's like, so it's completely both ends of the spectrum as far as ages, demographics, and how they take care of themselves, part of the country, and completely customize their plans to exactly what they need. I was even able to have conversations with underwriting teams on their behalf before I had their meetings today to make sure that their needs were going to be custom to them. So matching, Cinderella, basically, like, can we find the glass slipper
Oh,
insurance plan for you? Like, does this slipper fit? Like, we got it. Okay. So I can find a plan to match your Cinderella or match your slipper. I don't know which way it goes. One of those ways, but I can do that. But we have to have a conversation. And that's where the health savings finder is laughing at me. So that's where the health savings finder becomes really useful because it has a lot of these initial questions on there. It takes like 5 minutes to get through it.
it helps you measure your foot size, evidently. So
Yeah. But
we're going to measure our feet. Cinderella slippers. Who knew? All right. So, Courtney, we want some real world examples here. People hear a lot of fluff. They hear a lot of stuff from every insurance agent says, I'm the best because. Well, you don't have to take our word for it. After 4 years of being in business, after thousands of people have been helped to find the right policy, our team, the group of people that we work with, all of the above. Some real world examples. Let's just take two here. We're going to talk about example A. There was a self employed dad that you worked with recently. Paint that picture for us. Self employed dad.
yeah, self-employed dad. I've actually worked with him on two separate occasions. There was an occasion to get they're expecting a newborn. So we got that newborn coverage taken care of, got him something in place. And then when everybody arrived and the family was complete at this point, we were able to transition their coverage over to the newborn and get everything there. I was able to walk them through that. And they ended up in a very happy with their plan and saved about $600 a month from what they were doing before.
$600 a month. How much is that per year, Courtney?
$3,600. No, 64. No, I don't know, 72. I did it. I mathed. All
All
right.
right. That's
$7,200. Yeah, that's a deductible for a lot of people.
right.
And then they had no deductible with this plan. So it's like double deductible deduction. Make it go away twice.
Fine fluff. All right. So now for example B, there was a high deductible family that was able to switch. Not sure if this was second or third quarter this year, but this is one of the stories that I remember.
Yeah, they very healthy and they were on a sick care plan, like I said, like a one size fits all. And I was able to get them on something that covered everything you expect to be covered, but on a visit limit because they don't plan on going to the doctor more than 10 times a year per person. So there's plans that can meet those types of needs, which saved them thousands of dollars. And this plan is on a nationwide network. They were paying double coverage for a child that was out of state in college that didn't have the required coverage for that state because the state lines had different guidelines. So I put them in a plan that crossed those lines, and now they pay for that child one time, and they're saving a couple thousand a month. I think it was over 2,000 a month by getting them set up in the right plan.
Yeah, guys, she said 2,000 a month for that family. And sure, I'm going to give you the best examples that we got on that end, but the $600 a month, I was working with a guy the other day and we were just at the gym talking and I told him, yeah, that would be this, that would be this. And he looked at me and he said, you're going to save me about $5,000 a month after just a 10-minute conversation there at the gym. And I looked at him and I started laughing and he said, what's so funny? I said, when we did our numbers, I think our average that we saved for families was $4,800 a year,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
So correct, right? 4,800, that was going to save him about 5,000. Yeah, there are extreme cases with the 2,000 but that's because they were overpaying for things that they didn't understand. They didn't really know what they needed, which is a great segue to the next thing is why people overpay. There's a high deductible misunderstanding. Courtney, take it there.
Yeah, so the high deductible, and that gives them the lowest monthly payment. So that just gives them, it really buys them a membership where they got to pay once they, use it. They still have to pay every time they go to the doctor. So going that route, if you go to the doctor a lot, that may save you money. Okay. But if you rarely use it, like if you are a catastrophic event, like let's say 1 in 5 years, you might have an emergency situation, stitches or something like that. There's plans set up that way that eliminate deductibles. There's no deductibles because you had to qualify by your health, right? So the healthy people are going to avoid the doctors. They're not going to cause a strain on the health system. They're not going to be in the doctor's offices lines and clogging up that. They're not there. They'll use Teladoc or they'll suck it up. Okay. So for those people, we could save you a ton of money, a ton of money. So what you would have to pay for a deductible situation, that could be your entire annual expenditure on, or max, and I don't say max out of pocket, but that could be all you spend on your health insurance for the entire year is less than what you have in a deductible. So finding those people and let them understand that they need to help qualify health wise, and you don't have to be in extreme health, but the more healthy you are, the more plans you qualify for. So you have more pricing options. Then we can absolutely find something in their budget. It's very easy to do. Those plans will grow and get stronger the longer you have them in place because they're only planning on you to have any type of major bill, like maybe one every 5, one every 10 years, or maybe never in a lifetime, you'll actually see a major medical bill. And so they have their math worked out that all those bills will be covered for you. And then at certain points and in certain plans and in certain situations, which I try to put people in, they will actually pay you for using it. You'll actually get money for going to the doctor. So that's where the huge misconception is because people have no idea that there's plans that would actually pay them for going to the doctor.
So as she was explaining that, guys, I started to think, and how could I relate that to more people that may not understand what you qualify for? Most everybody that watches this show has taken out a loan before. Your interest rate and the amount of people that will lend you money is equivalent a lot of times to your credit score and possibly your income. So if we're looking at that to compare, if I go get a loan and my credit score is low and I've got low income, I'm going to be very limited on what I can do, who I can work with, right? We all accept that. When it comes to health insurance, we get confused and we act like we've never heard of anything like that. But really, that's the whole catch to this whole system is we teach you how to pay for what exactly you need. And therefore, the healthier you are, the less negative reports on like your credit report, the less dings to your health, the more you qualify for. And then they're betting that the lenders are betting with the high credit score, with the high income, you're going to pay it, right? You're going to pay it. You're going to want to keep that in standing. The people who are healthy, who use these health insurance plans, they're going to stay healthy and continue to get the benefits. Same theory. Hope that helps somebody out there. All right. So, guys, as we get into something like, how do I find out what I need? How do I find out what my credit report is? How do I find out where I stand? Again, Courtney has put together what is called the Health Savings Finder. So, Courtney, the Health Savings Finder Let's just go by topic by topic. Just stay here with me real quick. Let's make it fast. It shows if you're overpaying. How does it do that?
It scores you on base what the private market uses for underwriting. I
Okay.
ask a lot of those questions. And based on that information, you tell me who you're currently paying with and how you're doing it. But based on that information, I'm going to score you on, are you in the exact spot you need to be at? Okay. Is an employer sponsored plan the best plan for you? Do you need to stick around? Great. Are you better off self-employed? Awesome. ACA, okay. And there's even an option if you have medication, knock that out. So it's going to show you exactly where you're going to save the most, and then schedule that call with me, and then we can detail it even further.
Okay. So in the Health Savings Finder, it compares ACA to private options.
Yes, it lets you know if you're going to be overpaying an ACA based on your income range. It's one question. I can let you know.
With this, it reveals benefits that can pay you. So health insurance can pay you. How does the Health Savings Finder tell you that?
There's private insurance options that will pay you when you use it because you don't use it often and they've allocated more money than you're going to need for your health. And if there's a margin left over, then you get that check. You get paid for being healthy. Pretty cool.
All right. When somebody completes the Health Savings Finder, would they understand or maybe have an idea of what their monthly cost will be?
You'll get a general idea. I'll let you know if I can eliminate your deductible, but we're really going to need that one on one conversation to know exactly what I can save you.
All right. So are you telling me you're giving best case, like lowest premium, most conservative premium? Where are we at if they see numbers? Do they expect to have higher costs or less costs after they get on the phone with you? What would change that?
So these numbers are based on kind of a low. Actually, I didn't update the deductibles with the new increase in deductibles. So these are based on the lower end of the old deductibles. So, yeah, if you score high in that category, I can probably save you a lot more. So expect a lot lower cost in that area.
Right. I wanted to be clear there, guys, because I've worked for different insurance groups, and a lot of times they'll hit you with this payments as low as, again, lenders, payments as low as when you're looking at the houses, etc. As low as has not ever happened. Let's be real. You've got things, you've got life. We can set you up with exactly what you need. So if somebody cut their computer on, went to the realbriansmith.vip/health savings finder. I know I didn't say that right. The link will be below. How long would it take them to complete the health savings finder and get an email with the results?
About 5 minutes.
Guys, I had down here 10 minutes. Maybe I'm a little slow. All right. It took me a little longer to complete my test, but that's okay. You got the brains over here in 5 minutes. You got the eye candy in 10. So probably 8 for most of you. All right. So can the health savings finder, is that a tool that they need to use during open enrollment, first quarter, second quarter, year round? How does that work?
I would use it year round or anytime you're not happy with something with your health insurance. It'll let you know, and I will keep it up to date and in real time and the real numbers. So you know exactly what I can do for you. And ultimately, everything's going to lead you to a one on one call with me where you get to share all the details of your situation so I can make sure the shoe fits.
Cinderella. All right. So we've covered a lot of things. We're going to keep going. We've got about 4 more topics to hit here. So thank you for staying up to this point. A lot of times when I first got into business, helping businesses start, they're trying to figure out why should people work with that business. And there are some new viewers, and some people are just going to see this for the first time, and they're going to go, Brian and Courtney, who are they? What is Smith? Who are the Smiths? Some places we go, they may roll out the red carpet. Some other places, they may have us rolling out the red carpet. Like I never know where we fit in. So I want to make sure. Why is Smith Business and Group Health different? You and I were talking about this earlier. If somebody is with us, we're first their broker, then we become their agent, and then we're a part of their network. And we support families 12 months out of the year, right? So tell us some examples there. How do we do that?
Well, the easiest thing to know is if anything goes wrong, you have one number to call. Even if you have multiple policies through multiple carriers, it's my job to remember who you have coverage with, and I have those phone numbers stored. So you just remember one person and one number. And if you need to change things, it's still one person, one number. So that's the biggest advantage. And during the open enrollment fall timeframe, I'm going to do a free review on your behalf without your permission. And if I can save you money, like one gentleman, we were able to save him $60 a month. I just called him and say, hey, if we switch you now, yes. Okay. So I provide that type of personalization in the back. You don't have to worry if you're in the best position possible. You just have to remember my phone number, and you probably can just store it in your phone anyway. So just keep your phone safe, I guess.
And guys, that example right there came from my approval of somebody we had a contract with that had some updated options that would have saved me. It came out to 60, $70 a month on something that we were paying for. And if I'd have known that, has the 60 or $70 a month really changed my life? No. But it's really cool to know that Smith Business and Group Health is looking out. Hey, these
Mhm,
new products fit these clients in your organization and your puzzle, and you know which ones are going to fit. Do a little assessment of them,
mhm,
and then you set up a call and you surprise the guy with $360 a year. Cheers. That's an awesome
mhm.
story. I hadn't heard that one yet. You mentioned that you're talking to real humans. Guys, you'll have our cell phone number. You'll be able to reach out to us with claims help, billing questions, plan reviews. Tell us a little bit about that. The claims, billing questions, or
Yeah, I'd say once you get a policy in place, I'm going to walk you through how to set up the appointment, how to confirm. We're going to make sure you're in network and that you or I had the right conversation before the appointment to make sure everything is in place. And you really can shop doctors a lot better with with a PPO private plan. I can even help you shop there, let you know who's in network, who's out of network, and let you do your own research. So that customization part, you have a partner there. You're not completely alone trying to do it by yourself. Claims, a lot of insurance companies have a special claims department, especially in the private market. And if you don't know how to contact the claims department, you're going to get the runaround. You're going to get frustrated, and people are going to get stuck with bills because they didn't have a person they could rely on. And that's where, we still fill that gap. We step in the middle for them. It's like you have a person, and I know, oh, this company, this is the claims department, or this is the person that I talk to, or this is the email that I email to get things done. I've already built those relationships with the companies that I'm going to pitch the most.
exactly the fine fluff. As I was the first one to dive into the insurance world in this family and got in there, started working for different people, learning some different things. One of the things that always concerned me was if I was going to buy something from a vendor. Quick story. When I had the car lot, let's say 2015 to 2020, during that time frame, a guy came by and wanted to sell me some cleaning product. Okay, I was intrigued with them and they seemed like they would work on everything, right? Like it was the most amazing cleaning product. But he was selling to me out of his personal van. And I said, but if I like it, where do I order it? Where do I get it? How do I get more? Because I don't want to just get a limited supply of this. Okay. So as we grew, Smith Enterprises, Smith Business, and Group Health to stay focused are here. Joining USABG was huge for us. Getting that type of foundation that every Monday we're accountable to them on a call to stay updated, to stay in the know, to learn what's coming, and to be a part of that group. And the guys that brought us over there and the people who have said, hey, and there's people on that team that you can reach out to, right? And so when you're looking for opportunity, it's like, we're not selling health insurance from the back of a toy hauler studio. We have a team, we have a group of people, let's say, God forbid, something happened to us in a car accident. There's a group of people that will be assigned that immediately. You will know that you're going to be treated not as good as us, but close. These guys are okay. But I want to make sure that that's clear to everyone because that's something that concerned me as a consumer. So,
Yeah, and we know the names of those people that you would get transferred to, and we see them on Zoom calls. So you're not going to be lost in a number. If whatever happens, you're going to be plugged into a very impressive
yeah.
organization. And like I said, super easy to plug in, get everything I need from them, and I know exactly where to find answers to my questions. They have a complete support team like it for the company, and then each individual carrier has more people and more people. So there is a whole network of agents tied together that work their butts off for customers. And, it's really cool to be plugged into that because everybody there is doing the right thing and working hard. There's no dirty economics and insurance going on. So it's easy. It's the best way to be self-employed because you're not alone at all.
So, guys, I definitely wanted to take that time to give a shout out to USA Benefits Group, Mike Curry, Brian Holden, the team, AO Financial, everybody that's helped us to get here because you're covered and then you're covered and then you've got some redundancy there to make sure that you're taken care of to maintain that concierge level support that you get with us. So, as we go into 2026, Courtney, what's one thing that we've talked about as far as growing our insurance, small business, and group health? Are we looking to add more agents? Are we looking to add assistants? What are some things that jump out there for you?
I think agents opportunity is what we're looking to provide to people because we have a pretty cool schedule and health insurance is the reason why we have the schedule that we have. We can be where we want to be. I've sold health insurance policies, stepped outside of a basketball game. I've sold a policy in the car and ran up to watch, the first at bat of a baseball game on the way to Nashville to support you and your podcast. I've sold health insurance policies and to find that type of commission that people need that you don't feel like there's the only insurance people are going to use and to have access to a great product that I can sell on my time and provide an income. I mean, that's freedom and that's a huge opportunity. So we want to share more of opportunity of that with other people and, assistance. Yeah. You know, work from home was the number one goal of mine when I knew being a mom was on you know, coming up, being able to work from home, and this absolutely does it.
It definitely does. And guys, if you're an insurance agent and you're looking for an opportunity, I think over the past 2 weeks, Courtney's talked to two or three different females. If it's a female, usually she jumps on the phone. A male, I'll jump on the phone or vice versa. We'll set up Zoom calls. But we're looking for faith driven, family first leaders, guys, that, like she said, flexible income plus impact and a purpose. So, if you're like minded or you just want to see how do y'all do things, we have some that they just referred to us because they only sell for a captive agent, if you will, right?
Right.
So they're only working with this group. They can only sell this product. They know that we can help that client, that customer, which is more important than a paycheck to them as well. Those are the type of people that, you don't necessarily have to work for us. You can work with us.
Yes.
So there's options there and the commissions are great. So if somebody's watching this and they're here at this point, they go to run the health savings finder. And, again, what does it take for them to do that, Courtney? What type of information do they need to have? Do they need their kid's social security number, all of the information, everything? Like, is this like an application? What do they need to do this health savings finder?
Just basic information like your zip code, how old you are, what state do you live in? Do you take prescriptions? Are they expensive or are they generic prescriptions? Is probably the most difficult question I have in there. Height and weight's kind of calculated. Different companies cover that differently. So there's a quick like, hey, which range do you fall in? Just to get an idea. I can start really what this helps me do. It gives you feedback on, yes, we can help you and we can help you in these areas. And then when I jump on that call with you, I'm going to show you plans already. I'm already going to have things picked out. So it basically goes through what I needed to look at for underwriting. What would you get approved for? The pre-qualification process. And because we're a broker, all of the companies have a different, you know, list of qualifications. So this just kind of gets that ball rolling and makes it real simple for you guys.